2017 to order, and we have a quorum, and the agenda was properly posted?
Yes.
Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item, item 4, is public appearances. This is public's opportunity to speak about any subject that's not a specific agenda item. I don't think we have anybody. Okay. Item number 5 is discuss and consider the minutes of the regular village board meeting of May 1st. Any comments, questions, additions?
I move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Troy and second by John to approve as presented. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion passes. First item on new business, discuss and consider request from the Cottage Grove Fire Department for accommodations for the 2017 Firemen's Festival, and that looks like you, Eric.
Okay, so really the only change this year is in regards to the fireworks. We have a set time at 9:30 instead of dusk. That was last year. Otherwise, everything is status quo. I met with Chief Labor last week and can address any concerns that he may or may not have had. And I think the Parks and Rec on Wednesday. Okay, questions?
Was there a curfew thing that?
There was a curfew, and I did submit a letter
Okay.
for you guys to, I guess for that week,
Yeah.
to not enforce it due to the fact that the carnival folk will be living there
Yep.
during that week for setup. And I think they come Tuesday to Sunday, Tuesday to Monday, usually they're gone,
Right.
whatever the letter that I'd submitted.
Okay, yeah, the curfew for the entire
Yeah.
time frame of Monday to Monday.
Monday to Monday, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jack, or to the board, this would be to suspend the curfew and then to expand the hours for the park.
Okay, that's really the only accommodation that's
we have
being
any
asked for. Okay.
No other board.
Okay.
Motion to approve the Cottage Grove Fire Department's request for accommodations for the 2017 Firemen's Festival.
Second.
Okay, motion by Harvey and second by John to approve the request for accommodations for the 2017 Firemen's Festival. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion passes. There you go.
Have a great night.
Nice and easy. So light up. All right, 6B is interviews for vacant trustee position. I was talking with Attorney Boucher today, and I guess that kind of depends on when Harvey's going to be leaving us. We still aren't sure, so. Are you?
I had planned to resign effective June 1st, if that's agreeable to everybody. And I understand that there was some confusion on my part, I think, in the fact that we can't, the rest of the board can't fill a position until I'm gone, so.
Right.
We don't actually have a vacancy until Harvey resigns, and so both of our candidates are here this evening, and I apologize that we didn't know this until late in the day, but what would happen then is that we would hold the interviews and make the choice at the first meeting in June, and then so that both of you know, you get to hop right onto the board if you're selected. And so that would, what's the first meeting in June?
June 5th.
June 5th.
Right. We had a short time frame for applications, but that wasn't necessarily the effective date of the trustee position, if that makes sense. So it would be June 1st, and June 5th would be the first meeting then, and the new person would start. So I'm hoping you can make it back here on June 5th, if that's, does that work? Any other questions? Or I'm sorry about the inconvenience. It was just the way the time frame was for the applications. So basically, there will be an opening, it's just not open yet.
Is there, not to, sorry to put you on the spot, Harvey, but is there a reason to delay it beyond tonight?
I had just planned to fulfill the committee commitments that I have for the rest of the month, and you know, I'm not leaving the village until actually June 5th, so I you know, unless somebody has some real heartburn, like I said, I had planned to make it effective June 1st.
All right, so then we just need a motion to table this to the next,
I'll make the motion to table this to
to June 5th meeting.
June 5th meeting.
Okay. Any comments? Second? I'll second it. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. All right, sorry about the inconvenience, guys. It was a little an administrative snafu there. But, so plan on 6:30 on June 5th, if that, Monday, June 5th. Okay? Thanks.
Lisa, let's put them first so that
Yeah.
they can have a flavor of the whole meeting.
First for new business, or, yeah, okay. All right. So that pretty much takes care of item 6C also then, the appointment of the trustee. 6D, discuss and consider ordinance 01-2017, amending chapter 224, specifically section 224-2, public nuisances affecting health. Everybody see the material in your packet there? Any questions?
I guess I would ask, what brought this around?
It's just a housekeeping. JJ is the weed commissioner and needs to post a notice every year. And the ordinance number is not correct with the current state statute, so we felt it was important that we change it.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
that makes sense.
I'll move approval.
Okay. Motion by Harvey and second by Forrest to approve item 6D, or discuss and consider ordinance 01-2017 regarding public nuisances affecting health. Any other discussion?
So that's the only change, is, what I'm seeing is just the reference to the state statute?
Right, just the
Okay.
number.
Yeah, I see it, that's what I thought, I just want to make sure.
Okay. All right, if there's no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. Item 6D, discuss and consider ordinance 02-2017, amending chapter 12, specifically section 1211, Board of Review. And
This language was proposed by Village Treasurer Deb Winter, and it deals with the confidentiality of certain records. And we received a model ordinance, and we based the language that we're proposing on that. And we've been asked by our assessment firm to include this in our ordinances. And so we redrafted the language. That's before you, and I would have no objection to proceeding with it. Certainly happy to answer any questions.
any questions for Lee? Otherwise, I'll move approval of this.
I second.
Okay, motion and second to approve ordinance 02-2017, amending chapter 12, section 1211, Board of Review. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes, and that is Thursday, right?
Yep.
Thursday.
Yep.
This Thursday is our Board of Review.
18th, yes.
Yep. Okay. All right, we are moving along here. Reports from village boards, commissions, and committees. 7 first is, Troy, rather, emergency government, sorry.
We met last, May 3rd, Wednesday, May 3rd. Went over our tabletop exercise we'd done prior month, and identified some deficiencies. We're also waiting for a review from Kevin Wernot, who had conducted the exercise with us. So we hope to have that by the next meeting. And then also at the next meeting, we're going to elect new leaders for the committee.
Oh, that's right, it's the town's turn probably.
I think it is, yeah. Doesn't it alternate every year?
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Okay. All right,
And next meeting is on June, let me see, June 7th.
okay. All right, 7.2 is Community Development Authority. That would be, I guess, Harvey and John, and Troy was there too, because he's going to take over when Harvey leaves. So, or Aaron.
Or I would just defer to Aaron.
Okay.
We wrapped up the main body of the Comp Plan's Economic Development chapter. And then every chapter ends with a series of goals, objectives, and policies. We began discussing the goals and objectives, and hopefully next meeting we'll wrap that part up, and then the whole chapter should be done.
Thank you. 7.3 is Utility Commission. Documents are in your packet. Well, JJ's here.
I don't know, Forrest was actually at his first meeting too.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there too. Do you want to update? Actually, Shady Grove came and presented, that was the majority of the meeting, and then Mike gave an update on well one, which you guys heard, I think, prior to it. That's ordered been out from excavating. And I gave an update on the PSC progress with the construction authorization for the meter change-out program. In the process of answering, I believe, 17 questions from the PSC.
Okay.
I have a phone call with the investigating engineer Wednesday morning, a couple clarifying things, and hopefully that'll be wrapped up soon.
Okay.
About it.
The next meeting is June 14th.
All right, thank you. Reports from village officers, Troy?
I just wanted to thank Harvey for his service during, technically this is his last meeting. And also, and I'm not sure if I can ask, but Chief, is there any updates on the shooting that we had here in town? I realize if it's an investigation, you probably can't talk about it, but I do know a couple folks showed up to try to get some information on that.
Right, it's, we're actively investigating, haven't made any arrests at this point. I believe it was a targeted shooting. It was not random, and I don't think it's indicative of a larger crime and disorder problem that's coming down the road. Does that make the people that live next door feel any better? Probably not.
Yeah.
Doesn't make me feel any better. I'm embarrassed it happened, but like I said, the people that live there, we know them. They've been in the community for 6 years. I think they're victims. Well, obviously they're victims, and we'll try to clear it as quickly as possible, but I don't think it's a larger scale problem at this point.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Forrest?
I do want to echo thanks for Harvey. He was one of the first people I met with when I was considering coming on the board, and I'm sorry to see him go, but I know we could always bug him anytime we have questions, so. I think that's it.
James?
No report.
Okay. Harvey?
Oh my. I kept telling myself to write stuff down, and I never did. So you're fortunate, because it could be lengthy otherwise. My first term, I was elected in '07, and actually I served with Larry and Jack at that time, and it was an eye opener for me. And there were some issues that came up that probably weren't handled quite appropriately. I was re-elected. I came back on the board in '12, and over the course of my involvement from '07 to now, I feel like we have made great progress as a village. We've made some economic improvements, and they were kind of highlighted at the last meeting. I'm proud to have been a part of that. I'm proud to have been a part of the creating the village-only police department. I think those are two of the major accomplishments. But I really kind of want to focus on the future rather than past accomplishments. And so I'm kind of issuing a challenge to the board members, but also to the community as a whole. I believe that Cottage Grove is on the cusp of something really great. And the board has to take advantage of the opportunities when they arise. And yes, we have to be fiscally responsible, but it's important also to take advantage of opportunities when they arise. That's, quite honestly, that's one of the reasons I'm leaving the village. An opportunity arose. And I must apologize to the citizens that entrusted me with representing them, because I fully intended to fill out my term. But the opportunity to move back where family is just was more than I could turn down at this point in my life. Be dreamers. Board members, committee members, citizens, be dreamers. Bring those dreams to the board. Share with the board what your dreams are for the village. I think it's important. Yes, we are the policymakers, but we need to know what you want your village to be. And so I challenge the board members, I challenge the citizenry to dream and to work together to make those dreams a reality. As for board members, if you have questions, please go to Matt, and he'll get you to he'll either have the answers, or he'll get you the answers, or get you to the right people to get the answers. He has been, I think, a very good choice as administrator for the village. And it's important that we take advantage of his expertise. I'm looking forward to doing less, at least for a while. You might hear of me again, but for right now, I'm going to do less. Thank you.
Thanks, Harvey. Larry, anything?
Well, I'm going to miss your presence, Harvey.
Thank you.
And I was looking forward to working with you again.
Yeah, don't take it personal. It's not-
Yeah, I won't. The Planning Commission did not meet this month.
Right.
And we have rescheduled our meeting. We will hold 2 meetings next month.
Yep.
And it'll be on the Thursday, it'll be the 1st, June 1st, and then we'll hold a second meeting on Thursday, June 29th.
Yep.
Otherwise, no report.
All right. John?
All right, Harvey, good luck.
Thank you.
Your second retirement, or whatever you want to call it. That's all I have to say.
All right. Yeah, I have to echo what they said. I've known Harvey, seems like more than 10 years, but I still have your phone number, so you'll probably be getting text messages at least. I'm not driving to Lafarge, but I'll be glad to call you and text you. Lee?
Just a reminder to the board members that if there are items that you would like to discuss under this report section, if you could get those to Lisa ahead of time. If they're going to be of any substance, it's just, you'll start to get into the habit of that. And also a reminder about emails or any written correspondence. You want to make sure that you remember anything that you draft and send involving village business is going to be a public record. So put a big sign on your computer that said, would I like this to be public or not? So that's important. You hear about this all the time. Just a reminder.
Okay, and then for what it's worth, I think we all know this, trustees can bring up items for future agenda too, and if you have something, try to submit a little background information to go in the packet with it. It's just easier than bringing it up for the first time for people at a board meeting. They can get distributed with the packet then. Matt?
Harvey, thanks for serving and thanks for the kind remarks. I appreciate it. It's difficult to get information out to keep the public informed on a lot of issues. And there's a company that I'm going to bring to a staff meeting coming up that is working on kind of some civic engagement type practices. And if we see that that's worthwhile, we'll likely bring them to come in, do a quick 15-minute or so presentation to the board. Essentially, it's a way of polling the community on certain issues, and individual board members, if they're curious about a topic and want to engage the public, it's a way of getting it out to them, and it's a way of doing so with actual registered voters. So it's not, there's things like SurveyMonkey that are out there, but you never know who's actually replying to those for sure. So this is you can be a little more confident in the results, but I'm not aware of the costs or anything else. It's just something I've heard of. So if we think it would be worthwhile, we'll bring them in to see you guys. And then Aaron has a Capital Area Regional Planning Commission report for you, but I just wanted to thank Aaron for his work on putting together an application and going through the process with them. It's for a urban service area extension or amendment to the essentially the groundwater Dane County plan, and it's quite an undertaking. So
Sounds like it should be simple, but there's a lot of hoops to jump through.
Aaron can talk about that, but he did a great job on that.
Okay. Thanks. Aaron?
Yeah, there's 4 different areas within our application. They decided to vote on each one separately and ultimately did approve all 4 of them. So, not without some level of discussion, but
Sure.
The areas where it was Shady Grove, there was a portion of the Helgeland farm that'll eventually be one of the final phases of Drumlin Grove if approved. There was kind of a maintenance of getting the Gaston School in that wasn't in before, and White and Olson.
Oh, yeah. North of
that's Violet's Road.
Violet's Road one. Okay. All right, Chief Labor?
We have the bike rodeo, bike safety course Saturday at 10 a.m. till noon at Community Park in conjunction with the Optimists and Parks and Rec. So we're looking for little people to come out there with their bikes and learn bike safety with us. And then we have the Administrative Services Manager resign, Jamie Doyle. And we advertised the job on Thursday, and I have almost 30 applications already for the job. So people really must want to work at a police department.
Probably feel safe, yeah.
We're hoping to have the position filled by the end of June, early July.
Yes.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know Jamie, I mean, she's been there since before I was here, and she's quite the rock that holds the office together. I think she's done a very good job and tough shoes to fill. So.
Yep, 14 years she was there.
Wow, it's gone a long way.
Jack, can I add just one thing? And that is for the board members, if you have questions that you would like to share with the board that you want to use when we interview for the trustee position, could you get them to Lisa ahead of time? And that way, then we get some idea of what we're going to be asking at that meeting.
Right, and we avoid duplication and that sort of thing. So, okay, just email them to Lisa then or whatever.
Right.
Okay. All right. Sean or JJ, anything else since you're here?
Just to mention that our first Music in the Grove event is this Thursday,
Okay.
6 o'clock at Dublin Park.
Okay.
So we'll see you all there.
Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Right.
Okay. All right. Item 9A is discuss approval of vouchers. Any comments, questions, corrections?
Motion to approve as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second to approve vouchers as presented. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Correspondence, I guess official correspondence, there's nothing. I am meeting with Dane County Executive Joe Parisi on the 22nd. He wanted me to come down to Madison, then changed his mind and he'd like to come out here. So I plan on taking him around the village a little bit. Showing
Jack, if I may, I think it'd be important to bring up the Conservancy Court issues.
Okay.
JJ and I are working on a draft to eventually, you know, if you'd be willing to put your name on it and
Sure.
get it to our representative on the Dane County Board, just to bring to their attention the issue that isn't being resolved that's within their jurisdiction. So,
Okay. Yeah, initially when they said, we want to know what we can do to help you, and I was like, well, how much time you got? But the reason I put it out there is if anybody can think of anything on the county level, just shoot me an email so I can at least touch base with the county executive.
what was the date of that?
May 22nd.
Okay.
I think we're going to meet maybe around lunch or something.
All right.
So I thought I'd take them around and show them the town. Future agenda items, we have first and foremost our trustee interview and selection process. Any other future agenda items at this point that anybody wants?
I have one, it's a orientation, continuing the theme of orientation for new board members.
Okay.
We will have Ellers here, both Greg Johnson, who helps us oversee and manage our tax increment districts, our debt, and the financial management plan, and also Ken Herdeman, who works with Ellers Investment Partners, and he'll be here to give us a annual overview of where our investments are at.
Okay.
So,
And we may have, we should have a report on the board of review. Sometimes nobody shows up, sometimes a handful of people show up, so we'll make sure that, I'll put it out there, whatever happens at board of review. Anything else for anybody? Okay. I'll make the motion at this point that the Village of Cottage Grove Village Board goes into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 1985, Parent 1, Parent E.
We need a motion to approve the vouchers first.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't do that? I'll back up here, backtrack.
Or did
we-
Harvey and, okay, I'm
We
sorry.
did?
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's no problem. That the Village of Cottage Grove Village Board will enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 1985, Parent 1, Parent E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public property, investing of public funds, conducting other specified business whenever competitive and/or bargaining reasons require a closed session, negotiate terms for potential development in TID 6 by Horizon Development Group, Inc. Is there a second? Okay, motion and a second. We'll need a roll call vote. That's right. Aye. Boris?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Harvey?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
All right. We're now in closed session.